Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. Welcome to Wonderful Wednesday. This is a weekly tutorial series that I do to share my love of paper crafting and hopefully to inspire you to get out your paper crafting goodies and make something beautiful too. All this month in August of 2025, we are working with Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Woodlands. This is a gorgeous collection. I did a full preview of it. I'll link to that up in the upper right-hand corner. And you can take a look at that and see if it's something you would like to add to your stash. And we're also, this is our Choose Your Own Adventure card making episode where I make 2 cards with 2 different paper collections using one simple design. So our second collection is G45 Season to Celebrate. We are working with the August papers. And I'm also bringing in last week's tutorial. I showed you how to make these really adorable embellishment cluster pockets, telling you that you could use these in card making, in junk journals, in scrapbooking. You could just make it a gift card holder. There's all kinds of possibilities. So I want to show you how to use this to dress up the front of your card. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I did was cut a 7 by 11 inch piece of cardstock, and then I put it on my scoring tool, scored it 2.5, 5, and 10. This little flap is going to come up. From the offcut, I trimmed off this little piece, and I'm going to take a little bit of 1/4 inch score tape. I'm going to run it right along the edge of this little 1 inch flap. We're going to make a little pocket here before we go any further. Just like this. And from the offcut, I also cut a 7 inch piece. And this is going to go right over our score tape. Nice and straight. I'm using that score tape as a line to help me. See? So we're going to cover this with patterned paper, and then we'll have a pocket. This pocket will also act as the stopper for our card. I cut a couple of little pieces of paper from the offcut. These are each 2 inches high. And I folded them in half, as you saw me just do. And now I'm going to take a little bit of adhesive and adhere the folded edge to the cut edge of my pocket. And I call this a gusset. And what this gusset does is it gives us the full width of the pocket. So we can get something larger in there. It also gives us a little more depth in our pocket, which is also very nice. So now I'm just going to take my adhesive. And I'm going to fold our pocket flap up, and there you go. 1, 2, 3, really easy. And of course, this is an easel card. On the inside of our card, I had this panel. This is a scrap, and I like to work with my scraps. This was 6 by, let me see, 4 6/8, 4 3/4. So it's a little small, and it's got the branding strip on it. It's a little small. I'm going to show you how we're going to fix that. I'm going to take this little piece here that is about 1 inch and center it up over here on the left. And then I'm going to come in with this piece And that's going to give us the extra that we need to finish that top panel. And I'm going to take, to cover the joint, I'm going to take this sweet little bird sticker from the paper collection and line it up just like this with Stay Wild. And that does a pretty good job of covering that up. Then on the bottom, we're going to put this piece down here. This is also 6 by 2 3/8. It's going to go like this. See? And then I cut this little piece. This is also a scrap. This is 2.5 by 3 3/8. I'm going to bring in my scoring tool. The 3 3/8 inch side is against the rail. And score a 1/2 inch here. Move it up to an even line. And score a 1/2 inch here. And score a 1/2 inch along the bottom. I'm going to trim out these corners. Fold the flaps, and look what we've got. We've got a pocket. So you can stick a little gift card in there. You can stick a little tag from the paper collection in there. It's a really sweet little addition. And this is going to fill in the gap over on the right. Just like that. And maybe I'll take this pretty butterfly and put it down right here. So there we go. There's our little pocket. That's all lined. On the bottom, from the 12 by 12 papers, I cut this 6 3/4. And I want to say this is about 3.5. And this is going to go back behind our pocket. And I opted to keep the dark edges at the top, but you could flip that if you wanted to. Got pretty fern paper. And down on the bottom, I know I cut a piece. It's just a matter of finding it. Yeah. I've got these 2 pieces that we're just going to glue down. And these are just scraps. And I trimmed these. I'm going to center it with the sides and the bottom. The height on these is 2 inches because our pocket was 2 1/4. And again, these are just scraps. I love to use my scraps because I don't like to put them away. So it makes me happy when I can use a scrap to complete a little element. All right, and then I'm going to go into the sticker sheet. I'm going to take this pretty scalloped border. Go right along the top and trim. And that's the inside. I also made a little envelope to put our tea and our honey crystals in, and a little 3x4 card with room on the back to write a note. So those I'll tuck inside. So for the front of the easel, I've cut a 5x7 piece or a 7x5 piece of the same brown cardstock, and this is going to sit like this, so it'll be able to be displayed. It's very pretty. I also use my scraps for the front, and I cut 4 1 5/8 by 4 3/4 inch panels from my scraps, and I'm using this rusty color, and I'm just going to put adhesive on the inside edge of this one because I want to stitch around these. So I'm going to use like 4 panels to dress up. This one I'm going to leave a nice little margin because my sewing machine, I don't know about yours, it does not appreciate stitching through adhesive. It gets a little cranky with me. So that one goes there. Then this one I just had 2 small pieces. So again, I'm going to do like this. And I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch in between. And I'm actually going to take this one and tear it right here, because I need to go up a little higher, I think, in order to be even. Put my ruler here. Yeah. It's just the tiniest bit off. But you won't know that I tore that piece. It will not show. And then this one, I'm just going to overlap the 2. And then this is the last one that goes right here. So again, I'm going to do the inside edge because I'm going to stitch around the outside edge. All right. So I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine, and I'm just going to stitch around the top and the sides. Now here comes the fun part. This is so quick. We're just going to take our little pocket that we made last week. We're going to put adhesive on this part of the back and maybe along our cording. And we're going to glue it down just like this. I'm not pressing it because I want to take this fern and this is from the Floral Ephemera pack. And these mushrooms, also from the Floral Ephemera pack, which I don't usually buy, but in this collection, they're so beautiful, I made an exception. And now we can press this down. And then we just take our adhesive, we put it on the bottom half of our card, and we fit this over it. And look at that. Isn't that so fun? So now you've got this really great easel card that is also can hold a gift card, has this little cute little pull-out note and tag in the pocket, and it's super quick because you already made your embellishments last week. So that's our first Choose Your Own Adventure. And I will probably come in, heat up my glue gun, and add some little flowers or something down here at the bottom. But basically, that's the card really fast. So I've threaded a big wooden button that I thought looked really pretty with the tones in this paper, and I'm going to glue this right in the middle of our envelope flap as a stopper. I found this leaf and glued that down. Then I'm going to take this large magnolia, put it right here. I've got these two kind of ochre colored roses that I'm going to tuck in right here. See how pretty this is? And then this is a broken button. It broke in the jar, so I'm going to tuck this in just underneath that magnolia. And look how pretty that is, y'all. That's beautiful. So that completely finishes this first Choose Your Own Adventure card. I thought we'd just put this little pocket together, and I'll put a link in the description box below this video so that you can go review how to make these little pockets from last week. So I've just cut a little liner piece here, and I cut the pocket out of the patterns and solids. I'm not going to bother to back this doily this time. This patterned paper is so bold that I think we're going to be just fine. Putting this down like this. Then I've got this sweet little, this is an Anna Griffin. I'm going to put this little napkin right here. And a teacup right here. And this works well with this collection because it has such a strong tea theme. So this is going to go just like this in the center of our doily. And I think I need one more pop dot underneath there to level it. There we go. That's better. So that's the front, and I'll add some flowers and things like we did on the other one. Here's our little piece that goes in the pocket with our clip. This says Hello Sunshine here, and you can put a photo here. So I'm going to put the Hello Sunshine side in. Here's our little tag. This is an image from the 8x8 pad. I just beveled the corners and glued it onto white cardstock. Added my little dangle charm and some cording, and this is going to go in the pocket like this. Okay, and that basically, that's it. We just have to embellish this with a little bit of flowers. I'm not going to do anything too outrageous on this one, but that's kind of how to put that one together. Now for the card base, we've done the same thing. A 7 by 11 inch piece of paper scored at 2.5 and 5 and 10. This becomes our pocket. This becomes our easel mechanism. So here's our inside all finished off just like the last one was. I'm going to take this little postage stamp and use my shaped scissors to trim this out. I'm going to put it up here in this corner. I trimmed out these teacups from a scrap of one of the journal cards. And then in our pocket, this is a border strip from the 12 by 12, and then a 6 3/4 by 3.5 inch piece from the 12 by 12 floral. We have our August teapot. Hello Sunshine. I put a little journal card from my stash in the back, and that goes inside the pocket. Now, our front cover is made very much the same as we did the first one, only I had to go 1.5 inches on 3 panels and 1 inch on 2. And this panel is actually a piece of the border strip from the 12 by 12. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this off. Here's our little pocket with our teacup. I tucked a tag in there, wrapped some lace, tied a bow, added a little old petaloo flower that I had in my stash. I'm going to put our adhesive on the back. And glue this down over here on the right. Then over here, to balance it out, I've got this little chipboard, or I think this is actually an ephemera piece. Then I'm going to put, I think I want it right centered in between. Oops, that went down crooked. All right. So that's that. Now we'll place our adhesive on our card front. Line this up. Yep. So that's going to sit like this, and then to dress up our bottom panel, I've got this sweet little clock. I don't know where this came from. I found it in my stash. This looks like it's an old Melissa Francis. And then I just clustered up some flowers and one of the little teacups, and I used pop dots to put those in place. And this is going to sit right up here in the center. All right, I want to snug this in. There we go. There, and that's our second card in your Choose Your Own Adventure card making. So sweet. These are really fun. I hope you'll enjoy making these little embellishment cluster pockets, because they really do make for a super quick card. Make a whole bunch of them in whatever collection you want to use and whatever theme you want, and then you've got cards ready in no time flat. I'll be back next week with our Wind Back Wednesday, and I think I'm going to work with Graphic 45's the autumn one from last year, and we'll make something pretty with that. That was the one that had all the deer and the little woodland creatures. It was a real sweet collection. And I'll put a link to my blog in the description box below this video, and a linked supply list there. I'll put basic measurements for the card bases also in the description box below. And that's it for me, Kathy Clement, Kathy by Design. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and go get your craft on. Bye.